Hi guys, how you doing? So today I want to speak about New Age deception and false white light. And I'm really kind of trying to blow the lid on all of this because I think these things need to be spoken about. Because what's happening is humans in general, because we've become so disconnected from our essence, from our heart, from the belly brain, which really has all the true knowledge and wisdom. It's not the head brain. The head brain is what they want us to be in, the fight or flight. It has no real knowledge or wisdom. It's just there really basically to keep us alive in many respects. I mean, it does a lot more than that, but generally. So the belly brain is really where we need to tap into, but we've been so disconnected from all these parts and these aspects of ourselves that not only are we not even thinking straight, we're not thinking at all, because we've literally been disconnected and we've forgotten how to think properly. And what's happening is humans, unfortunately, many humans, not all of them, in general, we're quite naive. We get hoodwinked very easily, and there's a word which we really need to rediscover, and we need to rediscover it soon. And it's called discernment, because what I'm seeing around is there's no discernment. And when you look at, I mean, if you look at political levels, how often do politicians say one thing, get voted in, and then they just go back on their word? Yet every election, you see people buying in left, right and centre what the next puppet is promising. And then what happens is they get voted in and they don't do anything that they said. Yet we don't ever seem to learn these lessons. And the same is going on in the New Age scene, where everything's love and light, and I've got no problem with love and light, but you know, it needs to be genuine love and light. Everything's avoid anything negative, don't look at anything negative, don't get angry, blah blah blah. I've spoken about this before. Well, you know, that's not reality. We live in a reality that needs changing. It needs us to transcend negatives. It needs us to show a bit of not like dwell in anger, but it needs that passion. We need to see what's going on and say, well, hang on a minute, it's not all right. Sitting in a lotus position is not going to help the world. And it's the same with people that just constantly want to give their power away or look to other things outside of themselves to get answers. People, you know, looking at Pleiadians, at Galactic Federation of Light, and all this stuff. And I had a really interesting conversation the other day because I was speaking to someone, and we were talking about how I can understand why people want to look outside of themselves. So we're looking outside of ourselves to basically escape ourselves. You know, there's that wounded child, those aspects of ourselves that suffered trauma when we were younger. You know, perhaps we've not dealt with them. So what do? We look outside of ourselves. We look for food, alcohol, drugs. We look to other beings or entities to solve our problems. We think the next politician is going to make everything better. We think that, you know, the Pleiadians are going to come down and save us and make things better. And this New Age scene is absolutely drenched, full of bypassing and avoidance, and like I say, I've spoken about this before, but it all ties into our history. Now, as I understand our history and the work that I'm involved in, that we're finding, is that humans in their true form were once genius. We were magnificent creators of universes, and we weren't actually in matter, we were form. And there's evidence of this in Atlantean times, where, you know, we were very much connected with our hearts, telepathic. You know, we understood our cosmic connection, and we were very, very different to what we are now. But what happened was we had false white light beings come and deceive us. False white light beings appearing as angels, or, you know, whatever they might be. I'm not saying angels don't exist, but these entities are tricksters in 4D. Many people are, you know, channeling so-called different races, and all they're doing is basically they're getting deceived. Not all of them. There's some good ones out there too, but it's normally the ones that have got no discernment, which just allow anything to come in, and they'll believe everything. So going back to what I was saying in Atlantean times, so we were tricked by these 4D deceivers, these tricksters, and what they presented to us was technology, and we got very attracted to it. It could do very powerful things, and we were basically deceived by them, and we were hoodwinked, and we started to buy into all this technology, which led us away from our true essence, our true selves, our connectedness, our true connectedness, and we became greedy. And then so what happened is we descended in consciousness, and we became so disconnected that we were then able to be enslaved and used as batteries, both in 3D and 4D, where our energy is being siphoned, and this is still going on today. And what we're seeing now is a literal timeline repeating itself again. So we're being presented all this technology, and it's been packaged, fantastically, and now it's coming on the body slowly but surely with transhumanism, where they started with the the hands-free, the mobile, then the hands-free, and then it's going to be the microchip. So then we've already got nanotech in us anyway. So history is repeating itself, and what's even more concerning is that AI, which I see as really the head honcho behind all of this, because AI is really enslaving a lot of the interdimensionals as well, the reptilians, the draconians, even the Illuminati, those kind of guys and that think they're in charge are actually but just being used for the agenda of AI. So we're repeating another timeline, but this is it's ramped up. The consequences for us could be even worse, because what they're talking about now is things like consciousness, digital consciousness, where they will sell it as you can live forever, but basically what you would be doing is uploading your consciousness before you die, or just before the point of death, I believe, to a computer, so you exist on a database, so your consciousness is trapped in the database forever. So effectively being enslaved, your consciousness is enslaved for eternity. And it's in all the films. They like to show us what's going on in the films, and it's very alarming. And the things that I'm pulling off in sessions, energy sessions, are things like consciousness interfaces, neural nets, everything that you can imagine that is in 3D in terms of AI tech coming onto the body. It's already manifested in 4D. It's already been going on. It's probably been going on hundreds, if not thousands of years. So pulling off this high tech, which we're now seeing dripping into this dimension, into 3D. So we have to rediscover our discernment. Not everything out there is good. Obviously, I speak about the chakras being used as batteries for interdimensionals to lock in and feed on us. And how do they present that? Well, it's rainbow colours, lotus flowers, all looks very beautiful. Kundalini is another one. They've overlaid the Kundalini energy, so when you have your awakening, they're siphoning the Kundalini energy. I mean, Kundalini energy is serpent energy, and this is why yoga really hasn't resonated with me too much. Cobra positions and all that. It does. The whole new age scene, polyamory, that's being propagated. Just sleep around and share your sexual energy. It's so, I would say 99% of new age pseudo spiritually teachings are BS. That's my honest opinion. And people don't like this. They don't like me speaking like this, because they just want to pretend that everything's okay, that the new age is, it's all love and light and everything there is perfect and rosy, and if we just all follow that and go on a beach and cross our legs and meditate, then the world's going to change on a dime. No, it's not. We've got some serious work to do here, and some serious level shit has to be overcome before we can sit around and start omming and thinking that everything's perfect when it's not. So I wanted to speak about that, and also I've had some questions recently, and please, I understand what I'm saying there's quite a lot, so please leave any comments you've got down below. I reply to all of them. So but I wanted to speak about another aspect of people are saying, how are humans enslaved right now? Well, basically, what's going on is we're involved in a soul mill. So humans are dying, they're being shown the false white light when they die, and they're being presented with some kind of being that they admired in their physical life. So whether that be Jesus or Buddha or someone that you really admired, they'll appear at the gates of heaven, if you like, and lure you in, because ignorance doesn't die when you die. If you've not done your research when you've been alive, you're still going to die ignorant, so you're not going to know better. So humans, not knowing any different, are going to this false white light. Then they're having a life review where these entities, their intention is to send us back down so they can siphon our energy. So you'll sit down and they might say, right, Tony, you know, you were a good guy, but you hurt this person in 1984 and you hurt this person in 2014. So what we can do, though, is we can send you back down and you can resolve your karma. And humans, being ignorant and playing on their empathy, which they don't have, and the guilt and that stuff, they go for it, and then they're back down and they get their memories wiped, and they're back down for another round on Planet Crazy. So this is really the Matrix soul mill that's happening right now. The moon's involved with that, Saturn's involved with it as well. And this is what we're here to break. And at the same time, there's a lot of non-human souls now that have incarnated or are incarnated from a place of unconditional love to come and help and try and break this matrix, because it's gotten out of hand. So the theme of this, if you can see what I'm saying, and I appreciate it's it's out there, is the deception all the way. Deception on the news, deception on the politicians, deception in the new age, deception on the food and the food packets where it's presented nice, and everything's inverted, everything's a deception, most things anyway. So have a think about that, guys. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up, please subscribe and click the bell, so when I upload new videos you will be able to see them. And yeah, for those of you who have asked me about the book, the New Cage book that I've just written, you can find it on my website transcendingtimes.org, or it's on Amazon. It's available in paperback or Kindle. That really goes into a lot more detail about all these deceptions and what we've been led to believe. So have a fantastic weekend, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Take care.